everyone, Nikki here. I just wanted to update you with what I have going on in my planner for the new quarter of 2015. But before I do that, I just wanted to also give you a quick update on what I'm doing for my pen case. This I had shown in another previous video, and I was using it on my teal hardcover leather arc, and it helped keep it strapped closed. But as you can see, it's lost some of its shape just due to a lot of heavy use over many months. And so I have switched to this soft cover arc, so I don't need it to be a strap, you know, a cover holder anymore. So what I do now is I hold all of my extra supplies in here and I keep it at my desk. And I've switched to this green one, which is the same bag, but it's because it's newer, it's still stiff, holds its shape better, and I can slide it inside my planner if I want. But one thing that I have done to help hold its shape is I found a greeting card that I got for Christmas from somebody that I just really liked, and so I've clipped all my pens on the greeting card, and I keep it inside like that, and it helps hold its shape a little bit better so it doesn't get as floppy. And again, I mentioned in my last video where I talked about this one, I got these at Target, and I believe they're by threshold. They're probably about $7 or $8, and you can find them in the office supply section where they keep the Nate Berkus stuff. So here's what I have. It's pretty thick, but what I've done is I have washi taped each of the weeks so I can easily see, because I don't use tabs, I can easily see which one is April, May, and June. So let me just open it up here for you. I printed this out on a half sheet label, so it is on sticky paper. I can peel it off and put it on something if I want, but for now I'm just keeping it in here. So this is kind of my theme for this year is Brave. Last year my theme was Grace, and this year my theme word is Brave. So this is, as soon as I open this up, this is what I see. And it's just a good reminder. I really like it. Then I have some notebook pages just for brain dumps and stuff. Post-it notes, page flags, and all that sort of thing. Then I have in here my project pages. And some class notes and stuff. And this is something that for different events and things that I'm working on through my church, which I also work there on staff. For instance, let's see, this boutique. So this is a printable that I created, and I've opened an Etsy shop, and so far this is the only thing I have on there. Hopefully I'll have some time to do a little bit more, but I thought this might help me just kind of offset some of the cost of my planner hobby is if I open an Etsy shop. So I created this, and because I use an 8.5 by 5.5 planner, this is something that is just really, really cool. So it's a full sheet printout. And I've created different kind of blocks for the different things that I need to use it for. And on the other side, it's got like a to-do list, some details, different check boxes, things like that. If you have like a, group you're working with, you can put their names here and stuff. But you could cut it in half and use it as 4 separate sheets. But I keep it in here just as one large sheet. And then I can fold it over, and what I do is I use it to create like a packet. So I have all this other kind of lists and scrap pages and printouts, and I keep it all in here like a file. So that's kind of what I do for my project pages. Then in my calendar section, so one of the things that I did a little differently is, and I mentioned this in a video that I've done before, that I separated my monthly section, my weekly section, and my daily sections. Now, traditionally, you would keep your DIYFish inserts together so that you have your month, then you'd have a week page with all the daily pages for that week. Then you'd have a next week page, all the daily pages for that week, and they would all kind of wrap together. One of the issues that I had with that, and this is just my preference, this is nothing to do with the design of the inserts, but I would wrap everything up and then I would have a hard time flipping specifically to that page if I needed to write something down on a future date, or if I needed to flip back and find something on a past date, because I was constantly unwrapping, flipping, wrapping, flipping, unwrapping, flipping, and it was just a lot. So what I ended up doing was separating my sections out. So I've got all of my months here, and this is a separate section from my daily lists, or for my daily pages, and this is for future planning. And so this is April, some things that I'm, personal things that I'm tracking, but you have, I have it open this way, folded this way, so as soon as I open it up, I can see what's going on in April. And I've got my objectives, my notes here, and then these are for future planning. And I just printed these out, and then I ran it back through the printer for some artwork. Sorry, you can hear my dogs, they're barking at I don't even know what. But anyway, I ran this through my printer again, just to add some artwork, digital washi. You can do this, I'm not really, I used to be a scrapbooker, but I don't really do that anymore. I haven't for years. And so all the stuff that I have is outdated. So I just found some things and just put it on here for my own personal use. I'll probably redo this. But anyway, I keep this just like this, and then you can flip it open. And when I was printing out my daily pages, I had a couple extra blank pages that printed with it, so I just added those here. So you could still have everything open. So you can have your monthly page, and then let's pretend this is the week page, and then, you know, the daily page, and blah, blah, blah. So it all ends up working out, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But I have found it's a lot easier to flip through, because now I have all my months here, so I could do future planning, and then I have all my days here, and I just can flip through to find. And so I've got April is washied in purple, and May is in blue, and June is in bicycle. And one of the things that I did is I have it set up so that my weekly chart is washied on the last day of the week. So I can have all of my meal planning here, which I actually didn't do a whole lot. It's spring break, so we didn't do a lot of meal planning for this week, obviously. But I can open it up, and I have my weekly chart here. Then I've got my daily pages, and then I've got my month here. And one of the things that I did is I washi it a different pattern so that I can fold it over, and I can very easily see at a glance, oh, that one's different. So that's the week that I need to turn to for my current week. Now, you may be wondering about my weekly pages. And one of the things that I found was they are amazing pages, but I don't use them because I was just primarily using my dailies for the first few months of the year. And so rather than write things down here and then write them on the weeklies and then write them again in dailies, it was too much for me. And so I was trying to figure out a separate use for them, and I couldn't figure it out. So I just ended up not using them for a couple of months. And so finally I decided to use them for work. And so I sectioned everything off, and I, you know, made everything set for work. But just having them in my planner, my personal planner, when I wasn't working, it just stressed me out a little. So I took them out. I put them in my work planner. My work planner is the same planner, the soft leather closer one from Staples, but it's a full size. Now the junior pages, they still fit in them, and so when I need them, I can take them out and put them back in here. When I don't need them, you know, I leave them at work. So it actually worked out really well for me, and it alleviated a lot of stress. I realize how strange that might sound, but I spend a lot of time at work, and so I really need to keep them separate. I have to compartmentalize a little. Otherwise, I will work constantly. In fact, one of the things that I'm trying to do, I'm going to start using my monthly tracker for keeping track of if I spent any time for myself. Did I spend any quality time with my kids? Did I spend any quality time with my husband? And what days did I actually do any work? Whether I was physically at work, or whether I was volunteering at work, or if I was doing a work project at home, I'm marking it down so I can make sure that I'm kind of balanced a little bit in these 4 areas, because I do tend to get sidetracked. I will get zoned in on a project and I like literally cannot think of anything else until that project is done. So rather than track my bills here as I was doing in the past, I'm just using this to track some personal things. And one of the ways that I'm able to do this is, I hope I'm not jumping around too much, but I'm going to be honest with you, we're still on spring break, and so my kids are home and they've got play dates over, and I keep getting interrupted, and I'm just, yeah. So anyway, hey, that's my life. So anyway, what I am doing to help track this is keeping track of my time on my daily planner, on my daily pages. So I can go here and just quickly see at a glance, all this pink was family time. So, okay, so that means I either was spending time with the kids or I was spending time with my husband, and I can go and just mark that off. And because we've had spring break, I've spent a lot of me time because I've stayed up late watching movies, which is really reflected more here. You can see after midnight, that blue, that's me time. That's me catching up on Netflix, watching old movies, whatnot, so forth. Not getting a lot of sleep, so... although I did have a nap yesterday, so that was nice. It was Easter yesterday. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I track my monthly bills in another place now, and I'll show you that in a little while. So anyway, so I have all my monthlies here, and then I have my daily pages, and I just covered up some things here because I actually wrote names in here. One of the things that our church does is we print out people's birthdays and anniversaries so we can pray for them on that day. So I have names pre-written throughout here, and then some of them have notes and all of that sort of thing. So anyway, I just covered that up. But one of the things that I'm doing that's new for this quarter, and I'll just turn here for a second. One of the things that I'm doing that's new for this quarter is a little different layout. And I shared in my last video where I talked about how to print the inserts, that once I'm done printing out DIYFish's inserts, I then put them back through the printer and print an overlay over top of them that has digital washi tape, and it has these columns for our names and our schedule, you know, layout and everything. This time I added some clip art here, and I switched everything. In my old layout, I had mine and my husband's columns here, and then this was a to-do list up here, and this was my kids and a column for work. Well, since I moved all my work stuff to my weekly pages, then I don't have to worry about that. So I switched. My kids don't always have a lot of stuff. They're usually just in school. So they got narrower columns, and I moved them over here. On this side of the page, I now have my husband and myself, and I have a larger to-do list. So this whole column is my to-do list now. And it's nice because I'm right-handed, so I've got my schedule and I've got my to-do list all right here. I kept this the same. I write out the daily Bible verse from YouVersion on here each morning. This, I added washi tape here, digital washi tape, and I just write up here if it's a holiday or if there's something pertinent I need to remember. And this used to be my to-do list. Now I keep a place for prayer requests. I started to add little circles here for like keeping track of water, because I keep track of my coffee already, but I can already tell that's not going to work out for me. So I skipped that for May and June. I added a label, time tracking, and then I used my LM Hyperdex Stamp, and I stamp directly onto the page. But I did include a key. And so you can see what my color coding key is here at a glance. So if for whatever reason I look back and I forget, or maybe I change my color coding in the system, in the future I will know that as of this day, that's what each of these colors meant. So I went through and I pre-printed all of that on each of my pages, and I really like it because I'm able to really actually put a lot more in here. So that's been a really fun thing. And what I did so this is my layout for April. Let me kind of turn to one that's not already filled out. Oh geez, guys. All right, so here's one for April that's completely blank, except for where I've already written in the kids' school. So you can see how I've colored, you know, how I can color in here. I can write prayer requests and my to-do list and Bible verse and all that. And then in May, let me show you, I'll just turn to a random page in May. So in May, I've got little flip-flops here, and I just changed the colors, and I changed the color of my stamp here. And in June, let's see, June. And here's one for June. In June, I've got a tree, and I did more kind of blues and stuff. And I'm going to be honest, I printed these backwards. This was supposed to be the layout for May. You can see it says spring here. And then the flip-flops and stuff was supposed to be for June, but I accidentally put the inserts, I got them switched around when I was printing, so oh well. You know, technically it's still spring until June 21st, so I'm just going to leave it and call it a day. So that's kind of my layout, and I did this bicycle washi for June, but when you open it up, it's blue, and so like I showed you before, or maybe I showed you in a different section and then I edited that part out. I don't know, but just in case, this is what I did. I have it, every week has the same, so this is April, is pink, but when I fold it over, it has this pattern one, so that it's really easy for me to find the current week in the middle of all of the things. See, so how it stands out. So that's what I did for that. So that's me and my washi play. That's about as creative as I get. I used to be a scrapbooker. I'm really not anymore, so I play around with this, and I have gone mostly digital. And one of the nice things about doing digital washi and all of that is it really cuts down on bulk. I use real washi for this because it's functional, but the rest, it's all pre-printed, so it cuts down on a lot of bulk. So, okay, one of the other things that I've done, I'll open it up here. So this is all my calendar. So again, I've got brain dump, project pages, monthly, daily. So that's all calendar. Then I have a budget section. I've always had the budget section, but I've kind of repurposed it a little bit. And now I track my bills in it. Instead of on my monthly chart, I track my bills. And I got this idea from Yar in the Spanish classroom. I showed you in my last video where I was printing that there is a free file. I don't actually know if it's still available, but it was posted on the Life Mapping Community Facebook page. You have to be a member there to get to download the file, if it's still available. It's a free file that DIYFish posted, and it's 2 months per page, if I get that correctly, and it's really meant for future planning. If you go to Yar's video, she has a whole other list of ideas of how you could use it, and from her ideas, I got the idea of doing my bill tracking on this. So this is supposed to be, well, okay, so that's 2 months, so this is supposed to be the month. This is 1 month, this is 2 months, and you highlight here, all the months are listed, so you can highlight or circle or whatever which month this is. But for me, because I can reprint it and it's not dated, I'm actually using this as all 1 month, and I put due on here and I put paid on this side, and I wrote up here the month, and then there's 3, let's see if I can find a blank one so I can show you. what they look like. Okay, so you can see here, there's check boxes here, and then every day has a line. So you can future plan or whatever. What I did was I wrote in the bill on the day it was due, and I put a check mark. And like in this one, I paid it in March, so I can write a note there. What I intend to do, though, is write the cost there, or how much I paid. So I've highlighted paydays. I put dots on my paydays, a line across my husband's paydays, and I just kind of covered up some private stuff. But anyway, so this is going to be the new way that I'm going to track my bills. And then this is a check register printable that I just did. We very rarely ever write checks, but when we do, I need to write them down because I didn't buy duplicate checks. I just wasn't thinking. So I have a whole box of checks that aren't duplicates, and so, oh well. So I write it down in here. And then I also have a page like when I'm tracking cash and all of that. So the only other thing that I have in here that's really not any different than it used to be is I've got a notepad here, and then I've got a pocket here that I keep some, actually a couple pockets back here that I keep some things in. And that's about it. So this is my new setup for this particular quarter of the year. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. This is the first time in a long time that I've tried to record a video while my kids were home. And so I know that this is going to be a little choppy. It's going to be a little discombobulated, and I apologize for that. But anyway, I hope you guys had a great spring break, and I want to see what you guys have set up. So I will be on the lookout for all of your fun planner videos. And a little shout out to Dawn from Enthusiastically Dawn. I'm using my chair again. I thought you'd like to know. And anyway, I will talk to you guys later.